And welcome to another edition of Oxford News This Week. On Oxford News This Week, one family honors their own by helping out a community, meals giving during these challenging times, and do you hear what I hear? Yes, fire alarms. That and more on this special edition of Oxford News This Week. And welcome to Oxford News This Week. In a year time, one local family has turned their grief of losing their son into a foundation that not only nourishes the minds and souls of its members, but also gives back to the community. 42 Strong. The Tate Myre Foundation is mentoring program that got started December of 2021, just after the November 30th mass shooting that saw 4 Oxford High School students murdered, 6 other students and 1 teacher injured. One of the students who lost their life again was 16-year-old Tate Myre. His family, led by Father Buck, started the foundation to keep the memory of Tate alive. The foundation supports peer mentoring programs, which includes 19 adult team leaders, 123 high school-aged mentors, and 129 middle-aged program director, Scott Claxton, has been involved with the foundation from the beginning. The foundation utilizes the motto, trust, love, build, to put others first and embrace the concept of working as a team. This month, members of the 42 Strong have turned on to giving back to the community with a number of service projects. According to Claxton, 42 Strong, members have organized, sorted out cans. Also, Oxford Orient Fish benefited from some of their work. Meeting space within Oxford, the open-handed new location in the Village Complex on the West Burdick Street created a holiday thank you gift bags for local police and fire and sheriff departments. Made fleece blankets to donate to Cuddle for Kenzie, a nonprofit that donates blankets to the hospitalized children during their stay. They visited Independence Village Senior Living Complex, also visited residents making ornaments, crafts, playing games, and volunteered at Covenant Hills, the campground. Second annual Santa Brunch was put together as well. They created, again, thank you cards, cookie trays, gift bags, ornaments to thank local businesses who have also supported 42 Strong. The community over the last year volunteered to work for PEAS, the Animal Sanctuary, PEAS, in Oxford, and on December 16th, they put fresh coats of wax on the fire trucks at the Oxford Fire Station number 1, located on North Washington Street. Again, the first year has been dedicated to serving Oxford's community. Recruiting for the 2023-2024 mentor class will begin coming up in February, mid-February, and run until April 1st. Students currently in 6th and 11th grade can register during this period. Additionally, the group are finding ways to look for adult volunteers to join as well. Again, you can email info@42strongtate.org for a volunteer application. Well, a great program over this past year. Over 1,100 smoke detectors and carbon monoxide alarms have been installed. The numbers are from the Oxford Fire Department's Safety Begins at Home program, and had a productive first year. Firefighters installed 817 smoke alarms and 301 carbon monoxide alarms in 197 Oxford homes occupied by 385 people. 58 of those homes had 0 working smoke alarms. All alarms were installed at no cost to the homeowners. This again was spearheaded by Fire Marshal B.J. France. Between June and October, firefighters conducted a door-to-door campaign during which they met residents, scheduled installation appointments, and installed alarms. They also performed home safety evaluations. A huge thank you to all the Oxford Fire Department members who participated in the door-to-door campaign, including Fire Marshal B.J. France, Lieutenant Fire Inspector Sarah Racer, Lieutenant Justin Templeton, and firefighter paramedic Anthony Graybill. Firefighter paramedic Ricky Dvorak and firefighter EMT Trinity Menunez, I believe that's her name, EMT, Christina Shefke, recruitment and retention manager Kelly Kilgore. A lot of people had a lot to do with this. Robert Beers, Tim Golinas, Hearty thanks to the Oxford resident volunteer Jeff Shefke, who devoted some of his Saturday mornings in installation of these fire alarms. Again, Safety Begins Home was provided by a $10,000 grant from the Fort County Community Foundation and a $12,850 in donations from the North Oakland BFW Post 334. Also American Legion Walter Fraser Post 108 and American Legion Auxiliary Unit 108, AMVETS 108, Curtis Insurance Agency, Cornelius Agency, Farm Bureau Insurance, Rotary Club, the Oxford VTC Insurance Group, again, a lot of insurance companies helping out, the Oxford Agency, the Carter Quality Hardwood Flooring Department, and Swiss Insurance Group. And Oxford Lions Club and the Fort County Community Foundation grant and local donations were secured by C.J. Carnacchio, Oxford's Township Communication and Grants Manager. Sign up for Safety Begins at Home by visiting tinyurl.com /3CZJ3UP8. Again, that's right below me here anyway. Inspections for the Oxford Fire Department or drop off an application at the office on 96 North Washington. Again, we want to congratulate and thank them for their year's worth of effort in getting these alarms installed in homes. Searching for a way to dispose your live Christmas tree and help your community at the same time? Well, take it to Seymour Lake Park. Once again, the Oxford Township Parks and Rec Department has established a drop-off site for live Christmas trees located on the southeast corner of the parking lot adjacent to the tennis courts and across from the Kids Kingdom Playground. There's a lot of red, white, and signage in there to drop off your tree. Once again, they are encouraging you to do that. No artificial material should be left on the tree. Again, the tinsel, plastic bags, and etc. should be taken off. Any natural trees will be accepted. No artificial trees, please. Trees will be collected through the end of January. The park, again, is located at 2795 Seymour Lake Road. The Parks and Rec will collect the trees and turn them into mulch, which then will be used for township parks. Every tree gets a chipped program that they have for that. Again, it's kind of the ultimate of recycling. And while you're at the park, if there's snow down on the ground, why not? Bring a sled. If you have that powdery stuff snow hitting the ground, a blanket of snow plus sleds equals old-fashioned family fun, and you can do that right here at the Seymour Lake Park, 132-acre park, home to not only but 2 sledding hills. Visit them this winter again. Look for some magical moments. All we need is that white powdery stuff that sometimes gets in the way. We call it snow. Congress has approved a budget of well over $374,000 in community projects, and that was found earlier this year when, of course, 5,100 linear foot safety path along the west side of North Oxford was approved. The existing path ends near Oxford High School and the south side of Ray Road. Construction on the 8-foot wide paved safety path will accomplish 2 goals, again, with that grant money that we received earlier in the year. In the event that the Oxford High School building grounds is deemed unsafe ever again, the path will also provide students and staff members an evacuation route to the Meijer store below. Accessible and direct to Meijer, serves as the school district designated emergency meeting point. It will also give the community another shared use path that serves the recreation, fitness, and transportation needs of walkers, runners, cyclists, individuals using mobility devices. Again, the North Oxford Road, Ray Road safety path is shovel-ready project. Again, that was all approved again. Oxford-based Sharp Engineering and funded by a $50,000 grant from the Community Foundation for Southeast Michigan, Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Legacy Fund. The grant proposed and led by the design of funding the research, again, another research project that was underwritten by our own C.J. Carnacchio. We thank him for that. The Oxford Chamber of Commerce hosted a monthly mix and mingle at Gravecat Brewing Company in downtown Oxford. That took part about mid-December. Again, community members were able to get together, network, enjoy craft beers, some delicious pizza from our good friends over there at Sick Pizza. Once again, a nice time had by all. Again, that was mid-month. It was a Wednesday evening at the 21st and Free Meals team at the Emmanuel Congregational United Church of Christ, serving up 100 pre-Christmas dinners to folks of all ages. Each meal consisted of ham, mashed potatoes, oh, I'm getting hungry now, stuffing, green beans, and dessert, cupcakes, and cake pops. A donation from the American Legion Walter Fraser Post 108 helped pay for the dinners. The Magic Brownie Box in downtown Oxford donated some desserts as well. Merry Christmas was shared amongst all in some of the photos we have here. Oxford Community Television member Connie Miller, our own manager, OCTV manager Terry Stiles, and yes, the Grinch was there showing his nicer side. And with that, I'll take a slight break. I'll be back with a little brief look at sports, and to close the newscast out, again, you are watching Oxford News This Week.
Good morning. I'm Connie Miller from Free Meals. You probably all know that by now because I've come to you often enough, but I'm back again. You can see from the picture behind me, that's what our pantry shelves looked like last night after service. We started service in pretty good shape, low on a couple things, but we're empty now, which means I'm going grocery shopping as soon as I leave here. We continue to need help from the community. Cash donations, grocery donations. I think maybe some people are curious as to who is receiving this service from the team. They're your neighbors. No one knows what goes on in the house next door, but I know a lot of these people. And initially, a lot of these people were embarrassed when they pulled up because they've known me for 30 years. They live next door to us. They live down the street. It's not all senior citizens and homeless people. Matter of fact, that makes up a very small percentage of the people that we serve. These are families with children, and it's getting worse for them every week. They're trying to make their bills. They work, they have jobs. Most everyone's gone back to work of some sort, whether working from home or back to an outside position. Nobody's slacking here. That term was used yesterday by a gentleman at Meijer when he saw that I was buying a lot of milk and eggs. He referred to those people as slackers. Well, they're not. They're trying really hard, and they are reluctantly accepting help, asking for help, and they're very, very grateful. But we're almost 3 years into this now, and things are just continuing to get worse. So I need help in every way. As I said, I need groceries, I need cash donations to buy groceries, I need people to help with the cooking, I need volunteers. I would love it if somebody said, hey, I'll go grocery shopping for you, give me a list, and I'll bring it back to the church for you. Or when are you stocking the shelves? I'll come and do that. When I have somebody on vacation like I do right now, who generally runs the pantry, I'm doing all of that, in addition to the other things I do. And I'm not complaining, but there's plenty of opportunity here to help. To the parents, this is a good time to teach your kids. Teach them that there are people out there just like them that are going through a tough time, and they can help. They can show up, if for nothing else, than to smile and wave at people on Wednesday nights. It's amazing how far that will go. We love to have the kids come. We also, if the kids need service hours, or if you know someone who's had perhaps some legal issues and they need service hours, by all means call me, 248-933-4579. That might as well be on a billboard around town, but we just simply need your help. I hate having to keep coming back and asking. We had really hoped that this thing would be over by now, or would at least be better, but it's not, and now we're moving into winter months and the holidays. If you can't put food on the table, you're not buying Christmas presents. For myself, my husband and I are not buying Christmas presents this year. That money goes to other places. It goes to Free Meals. And, it's hard to deny yourself, but maybe think about this. If you're going to have a child and you're going to buy them 10 gifts, buy them 9 and give me the difference. I can make it go really far. So we're heading into Thanksgiving, where we will be serving a turkey dinner. Could really use some help that day with the cooking and with the packing and everything else. Face it, we could use help all the time. We've got a big team of people, but not everybody can make it every week. And some people are frankly getting burnt out, and I can understand that. On a side note, last year we were chosen to be the Grand Marshals for the Christmas parade. We were thrilled, but there was no Christmas parade. So we were asked to be the Grand Marshals for this year's Christmas parade. So if you have ever volunteered or donated to Free Meals, if you're still on the team, whatever your connection is, we would love for you to join us in the parade. We will be leading the parade, and we'll have our banners, and we will walk and shine a light on all the good work that all of you have done. And even if it's something small, it's appreciated. So consider that. We'll line up at the corner of Crawford and Mechanic at about 12:30 on the first Saturday in December, and you are all more than welcome. So think about that. And you can bring groceries with you, or you can bring cash with you. Going forward, just please think of us. think of what we're doing, and this isn't for us, it's for our neighbors. And some of those same people that come and get food and groceries and such return and volunteer. They feel like they have to pay it back. Well, they don't, but we certainly welcome them. I have several people right now serving that come to get food because they need it. So there's really no rules or guidelines. You don't have to give me your ID to get food, and you don't have to tell me why you're there. Just come and be there. And tell your friends. You know, it'd be a great holiday thing. Have a food drive in your neighborhood, you know, or amongst your clubs, or these various group chats. I mean, there's so many ways people are in touch with large groups of people these days. Help me get the word out. Again, my number is 248-933-4579, and we will be including a list of the groceries that we carry on a regular basis as part of this. I'd like to thank Terry and OCTV and my wizard Kyle for helping me, again, using their facilities to put this together so I can get the word out to you quickly. Thank you all.
Welcome to this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from Automotive News. Driver assist systems that lack user-friendliness not only cause drivers frustration, but it may diminish the system's safety benefits, according to Consumer Reports. People confused by their driver assist features might disregard them altogether. If they are not enjoyable to use in the car, if they're beeping at you incessantly, if they're doing things that are unexpected or confusing and you don't know why it's doing it or how it's doing it, then not only is it confusing, but it can be annoying and frustrating, says Kelly Funkhauser, Manager of Vehicle Technology at Consumer Reports Auto Test Center. Consumer Reports issued guidance on easy-to-use advanced driver assist systems controls and displays on December 13th. The design suggestions are aimed at automakers and were inspired by their request for the data, Funkhauser said. Consumer Safety Organization in 2021 surveyed 35,250 owners of vehicles in the 2015 to 2022 model years. The survey focused on adaptive cruise control, blind spot warnings, forward collision warning, and automatic emergency braking, as well as lane departure, lane keeping, and lane centering assistance systems. The study also considered active driver assistance, which is the simultaneous use of lane centering assistance and adaptive cruise control. Difficult to use safety systems may hinder safe driving, Funkhauser said. Unexpected beeping or unfamiliar symbols may distract a driver. A bad experience may cause the driver to disable the system. If people are turning them off, any of those potential safety benefits that exist are gone, she says. Rear crashes decreased by half in vehicles equipped with automatic emergency braking and forward collision warnings, according to a recent study by the U.S. Department of Transportation and automakers. Automakers could simplify and personalize the ADS experience according to Consumer Reports guidelines. The system's name should be consistent throughout the vehicle, including the window sticker, manual, and vehicle display, as well as online and in marketing tools. The system should also be personalized, such as how quickly a lane changing, or a lane keeping, that is, system intervenes, and the rate of acceleration or deceleration on adaptive cruise control systems. The variety in system names comes down to branding and marketing, Funkhauser said, adding that automakers want their systems to stand out among their competitors. That is why Consumer Reports and other safety advocates created the Clearing the Confusion Initiative, which recommends a list of standardized names designed to help consumers understand safety systems. The report said anywhere between 8 and 40 unique terms may exist per each type of system. Consumer Reports recommended using the generic terms along with branding initiatives. Funkhauser says it helps consumers shop for vehicles that have systems they're looking for, which benefits manufacturers. In many instances, many drivers aren't confident in how their systems work, the report said. For example, Consumer Reports found only 48% of owners with vehicles equipped with forward collision warning say they understand how it works. Just 42% of owners of vehicles understood their vehicle's automatic emergency braking system. In-car explanations of how the systems work, as well as information about the warnings they give, are recommended by Consumer Reports. It suggests providing this information in the vehicle's infotainment screen. Well, that's it for this edition of Auto Talk. I'm Dave Kenny. Stay tuned to Oxford Community Television.
In sports, again, hoop action just prior to the holidays. Oxford took on Clarenceville. The Oxford varsity basketball team won their home game, non-conference game against Clarenceville. Livonia by a score of 64-42. They picked up a win with Lapeer 40 and Oxford 43, but they did secure a loss. Again, Oxford basketball team lost a non-conference game to Beverly Hills Groves. The score there would have been by a 10-point deficit, 64-54. Those all non-conference games throw them at 2-2, 0-0 or 0-0 in league action. Girls win their sixth straight game to improve a 6-1. The Wildcats commanded the game versus Adams in a 32-minute heavy fought basketball game to a 2-1 Lynn League play. Freshmen and JV also got wins on the day, completing the sweep. Great job, girls. Go Wildcats. Looking forward to some of the upcoming basketball happening. Once again, we'd like to echo this. I know we spoke about this last week. Oxford Wrestling defeats Caro in a second annual Legacy Center Honor Duel, and we thank our friends at the Legacy Center for providing the space. Big thanks to Oxford alum and current Caro wrestler coach Rocco Borg for bringing the Caro Tigers down to Oxford to enjoy a great night of fun and wrestling. And once again, we thank and congratulate our friend, the team of the boys swim and dive team. They took on Brandon, picked up a slotted victory there, 125-50 to improve to 3-0. That boys swim and dive team, very good. It was a dominant effort. Again, who set pool records in the night was Charmston, Olin Charmston. He had 22-11 in the 50 freestyle and 48-29 in the 100. Those are just fabulous records. Again, some of the sports there. Once again, we'll take a slight break. Again, we're looking forward to covering a lot of the sports here in the upcoming new year, and the best place to catch it if you don't go to the arena, right here on OCTV. We'll be back with more. Dave Kenny has another segment. I will close it all out. You're watching Oxford News This Week.
Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something that can count on to be free.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
When it comes to vaping, the truth can get clouded. So let's make it clear. Vaping is not safe for kids, teens, or young adults. It's just not.
Because vaping can put microscopic particles into your lungs.
And dangerous things like metals and volatile organic compounds into your body.
And nicotine, the same highly addictive substance found in regular cigarettes.
Nicotine can harm a person's brain development through their mid-20s,
affecting learning, memory, attention, and impulse control, and priming the brain for other addictions.
Vaping products also come in kid-friendly flavors that can make them appealing to youth.
And many kids also use other drugs, like marijuana, in vaping devices.
With appealing flavors, high nicotine levels, and lots of promotion on social media,
many kids think vaping is harmless, but it's not.
So talk to your kids about the risks of vaping, because when you talk, they hear you.
When the world's endangered animals need help most, when their lives are at greatest risk, when they would otherwise be lost, the International Fund for Animal Welfare is there, taking action to rescue the animals we love, to protect them and their threatened natural habitats. But the danger to animals the world over is growing, and the need for your help has never been more urgent. On land, you'll help stop poachers from threatening and killing elephants and big cats for the illegal wildlife trade. In the oceans, you'll help rescue dolphins, whales, and seals from deadly hazards. And you'll help rescue, rehabilitate, and release vulnerable animals when disasters strike. Here at home and around the world, we can't do this work without you. See how you can help animals and people thrive together at joinifall.org.
Welcome to Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny, and this story is taken from New Scientist. The ticks that can infect people with Lyme disease have expanded their range northwards in North America and Eurasia as the climate warms. Now a study has found that the bacteria that cause Lyme disease may aid this expansion by boosting the survival rate of overwintering ticks. This infection helps them get through some of these difficult winters, says Shelley Adamo at Dalhousie University in Halifax, Canada. It really has a big punch in terms of population numbers, she says. In people, Lyme disease usually causes a circular or oval rash around the bite site and a flu-like illness. If untreated, it can cause serious long-term problems. Over 3 winters, Adamo's team collected deer ticks in Nova Scotia and put them in tubes, covering the ends with mesh to stop them from getting out. The tubes were put in leaf litter, where ticks usually overwinter, in forest and in dune grasslands. In spring, the researchers collected the tubes and tested the living and dead ticks for infection with Borrelia burgdorferi, the bacteria responsible for Lyme disease in North America. Uninfected ticks had a 51% risk of dying during the winter, while the risk of death with infected ticks was just 22%. The team calculated that this effect could have a big difference on tick populations. In some ways, climate change can make it harder for them because you get bigger fluctuations in temperature, said Adamo. Such fluctuations would wipe out non-infected ticks in marginal areas, but infected ones, they could survive. Once you get a heavy prevalence of infection, you never lose them, she says. A previous study by Girish Nilakanta at Yale University and his colleagues showed that ticks infected by a different bacterium produced a protein called IAFGP, and that this boosted cold survival in labs. It just so happens that IAFGP is also an antifreeze protein. If ticks infected by B. burgdorferi also produce more IAFGP to counter the infection, this might explain the higher survival rate. This raises the question of why uninfected ticks don't produce higher levels of this protein to boost winter survival. Adamo thinks it's probably because this comes at the cost of producing fewer eggs. The findings suggest that people need to be particularly careful in early springs as ticks that have survived the winter are more likely to be infected. In this very early spring, people are not usually thinking of ticks, says Adamo. It could be a time when many people are not as vigilant as they need to be, so watch out. Well, that's it for this edition of Science in the News. I'm Dave Kenny.
We close out the year, in a sense, created a new purpose for those in the community experiencing so much pain and challenge. Stories of a close-knit community touch our hearts, touch our sense of self, and even bring a tear to our eyes at times. I echo again, whether it's a father trying to make sense and honor his son by helping out other youth, a community member trying to help with food on a weekly basis despite the food shortages, or the angelic voice of an Oxford student who touches our hearts and souls with every song. Or maybe a coach in a major city reaching out with a gesture of donating a game ball. Again, just gestures, but also a way of touching a community that is figuring out how to come back, at whatever your sense of community may be. I hope and pray that your sense of purpose can be found and brought back. This community has become stronger and still needs help. Here at OCTV, for the most part, we're trying to foster the positive. We thank those, the news gathering source of the Oxford Leader and the Oxford Township website. We thank and credit the photos for CJ Carnacchio and Don Rush. OCTV can be viewed on Spectrum Charter Channel 191 and Channel 99 at ATT Uverse, YouTube, Rumble, and Facebooks as well. Even download it on the Roku app and watch OCTV programming. OCTV is also available for local groups for producing public service announcements. Have a show idea, maybe give us a call at our main office at 248-628-9658. Again, I'd like to thank producer-director Kyle Snage, videographer Al Campbell, editor Kyle Snage, program coordinator, one of our coordinators, Dan Weiss, coordinator Connie Miller, station manager Terry Stiles. For everyone here at OCTV, I'm Jim Hughes, hoping you have a safe week. I hope you have a happy new year, and I do invite you back again, and we will take another look at Oxford News this week.